again. So I hope you had a good break. And we have feedback that the earlier session was really fast and a lot of people could not catch up. Well, there was concerns that we were short on time, so I was trying to make up for some time. But since now we have caught up, I will try to speak really slowly so that everybody can catch what we are going through. All right, so for the next 5 trends for the day, the way we are structuring it is that these next 5 trends are more technology fueled, so more digitally fueled. So what is the next use of technology that is going to affect your consumers in the following year and for the next 5 years even? So the 5 trends that we have, as you can see on screen, there is a messaging control. It's all about, like the name suggests, it's all about messaging platforms, messaging applications. And then we go on with the virtual reality, augmented reality kind of technologies and how you can use them to really engage your consumers. So the first one is this trend that we call messaging control. So before we talk about the trend, let's talk about the WeChat universe. I believe even if you're not using WeChat, you are familiar definitely with WeChat. So it's one of the biggest messaging apps in the world right now from China. And WeChat is famous for being not just a messaging platform, but it is actually like an ecosystem of its own. It's a universe of its own because you can do a lot of things on WeChat. So there was an infographics recently that detailed out some of the things, just a handful of the things that you can do on WeChat. So let's see some of them. So on WeChat, you can transfer money to friends because WeChat has a mobile wallet and you can use it to transfer money, to pay for purchases via your WeChat account. You can even use it to send lucky envelopes. So for Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year, the Chinese people will always give hongbao, so like the red packets with money inside as well wishes. And WeChat launched this virtual red packet initiative and it was really, really successful. So instead of sending physical red envelopes with money, people just use WeChat to send money to each other during the festivities. You can also use it to split the bill if you go eat with your friends. You can use it to hail a cab and pay for it with your mobile wallet. You can use it to catch up on some reading, buy some wine, get a startup to take care of your laundry. There is this laundry app startup in China called dtac that does on-demand laundry. So you just push a button on your phone and they take care of your laundry. So it's on-demand laundry. You can send instructions to your butler. So in the US, there is a service called Magic. So it's a number that you just text and they can do anything for you as long as it's not illegal. And so WeChat, there are some startups that are replicating this kind of service in China, but they're using WeChat. So you just send a WeChat message on WeChat to the startup, and whatever it is you need to be done, as long as it's not illegal and you're paying for it, they will have it done for you. And then on WeChat, you can also book a karaoke session, as well as do some bill splitting and investments and stuff. So there are lots of things. There are banks like Standard Chartered that launched WeChat private banking services for their privileged clients. So you have access to your personal banker 24/7 via WeChat. And then there is WeChat City Service with the Shanghai government that lets you conduct all kinds of civic activities. So you can check the public libraries, you can pay for your fines if you have driving fines and things like that. So a lot of things that people can do on WeChat. But what is next? If everybody is already on WeChat, everybody is already on Line. So Burberry partnered with Line last year to stream their fashion show. So you can watch Burberry fashion shows via Line, and you can do a lot of things online as well. And there are a lot of brands that are going on WhatsApp. In Singapore, there was this startup called the Homework Gods that partnered with, they didn't partner WhatsApp, but they use WhatsApp to deliver homework solutions. So how it works is that if you have a homework problem for students, if you have homework problems that you cannot answer, you just take a picture of it, send it to Homework Gods via WhatsApp, and the Homework Gods will reply you back with the answer. So if it's a simple math question, it's free. But if you want them to proofread your essay, maybe, then that will be for a nominal fee, like $10. $10. So all these things that are going on messaging apps, messaging platforms. So what is next for messaging platforms? And that is where messaging control comes into play. So it's this trend that says that now instead of just jumping onto messaging platforms to provide services, messaging apps can really be a remote control for your physical experiences. So for example, in China, there is this noodle shop called Renrenxiang that replaces all their wait staff with just WeChat. So they're cutting down on labor costs and everything. So they don't use wait staff anymore. But you can just, when you want to eat at this noodle shop, all you have to do is order via WeChat, pay via WeChat, and then when your food is ready, they will send you a message on WeChat, and you can go and collect your food from the kitchen. Yeah, so there is no people involved there. You can just like use WeChat to control your entire dining experience. WeChat also partner with the Link Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, and how it works is that you can control your entire hotel room via WeChat. So if you want to, so the person who did this said that, oh, if you've been partying all night in Las Vegas and you come home like half drunk and you really want to just sleep and you don't want to like try to go around your room trying to figure out where everything is, like where's the light switch, where's the aircon switch and everything, you just have to go to your phone, your WeChat app on your phone, and you can turn off the lights, turn down the air cons, and pull the curtains, and do all kinds of things to your room via WeChat. So you can control your entire hotel stay just via WeChat. And recently in Singapore, 3 college students, so they're university students, they created a chatbot on Telegram. So this is not WeChat, but it's the Telegram messaging app. So this chatbot that can control your laundry. So they are saying that college students, when they do laundry in school, sometimes it gets tedious and you need to know which laundry room is available and which is not available. And so they created this thing on Telegram that you can control your entire laundry experience. You can try to find like if the washing machine is empty, if it's available, then it will tell you on Telegram. And then when you're washing, when your laundry is done, it will tell you on Telegram as well. So think about that. If even university students can create something like this, what would people expect out of your brand in terms of customer service and initiatives that will let them control their experiences very conveniently just via a messaging app or a very simple app on their phones? So that is messaging control. So the light bulb moment for this trend is, how can you create simple initiatives, just jump on a simple messaging platform and use that to give consumers a more seamless, more convenient experience in the physical world. So that's the first trend that we have for this session. So that's messaging control, about the evolution of messaging apps and the messaging economy and what's next for that. All right, so is the pace okay? Should I speak even slower? Or, yeah, so all right, yeah, I see some people nodding, so that's good. All right, great. So the second trend that we have for today is around so virtual reality and virtual experiences. So what's next for VR? Is it really going to take off? What are we going to do with them? And we already have a lot of initiatives with VRs, but what we say is that, and we see that people are really interested in it. So 79% of the younger generation says that they are very interested to interact with AI services or virtual assistants, and the number is a bit lower for people in the older age brackets, but it's actually still quite significant. So 65%. Yeah, 62% of the 35 to 44s, they are interested in artificial intelligence-led initiatives as well as virtual assistants. So the trend that we have is what we call virtual safe havens, and it's this idea that in the digital economy, when people are on the internet, when people are on social media, it's very easy to experiment. So let's say if you want to try to customize something, if you do it in the digital world, it's very cheap. If you make a mistake, you just click undo and like do a new thing. So now with virtual reality, the possibilities are even more endless. So people can attempt things that would not be possible in the real world because the risks are too great and it's too expensive to make mistakes. And so they would never do it if it's only in the physical real world. And this is what virtual safe havens is all about. Like virtual reality, the virtual world can actually create opportunities for people to experiment more, to explore more, to become more adventurous. And Samsung created this initiative called Be Fearless hashtag, and what it does is that it helps people, it encourages people actually to face their phobias using virtual reality. So there is a video to show this, so this is quite interesting, so let's roll the video right now.
Show that in practice, people can overcome their fear of heights. So, we created a VR program called Be Fearless. Participants all over the world trained with Samsung Gear VR in various levels. And after 4 weeks of training, they were invited.
I think we missed the front part a bit, so I'm going to, redo it.
Ich habe Höhenangst. Die Atmung wird schneller, ich krieg Herzklopfen.
Studies show that with constant practice, people can overcome their fear of heights. So, we created a VR program called Be Fearless. Participants all over the world trained with Samsung Gear VR in various levels. And after 4 weeks of training, they were invited to face their fear.
3, 2, 1, let's go! Amazing, I want to go again. Nice.
Yeah, so all these people are originally really scared of heights. So, and if you tell a person who has a phobia of heights to go to a really tall building and stare down to like try and overcome their fears, it can be really dangerous. So what Samsung does is that they create a safe environment in the virtual environment for these people to actually face their phobias, face their fears, and try to overcome them. And they can then go to the real world and actually do the real thing because they have had practice in a safe environment. A Japanese institution does a similar initiative. So they use virtual reality to try to simulate disaster response. So what happens if a tsunami happens, and traditionally you can't really practice like how do you respond to a tsunami, because the only way to do that would be to have a real tsunami. But now with a virtual reality, you can simulate what if a tsunami really happens, and so what do they have to do to respond accordingly. So it's a disaster relief practice in a virtual world, because so it eliminates the risk and it's really safe, and you can do a lot of things and a lot of possibilities with that. So think about how virtual realities can actually allow for risk elimination entirely, to let people really attempt things that would not have been possible without the availability of the safe environment of the virtual world. And of course, when we talk about virtual reality, augmented reality, we have to talk about Pokemon Go. So this is like the one phenomenon that took the world by storm, and like everybody is on Pokemon Go, and people say, oh, only like people expected that only the young people, the millennials, would be playing Pokemon Go. I was in a conference in Manila just like last month, and it was with C-level executives of the retail industry, and we were having dinner, and there was this lady who's very poised, and she's a society lady like through and through, and you would never expect her to be a Pokemon Go player. And like we were just during dinner, and like it was a business dinner, and then people started laughing beside her, and they were like, and we were like, why? What's happening? Why is everybody laughing? And people are just saying, oh yeah, this lady, she is actually catching a Pokemon right now, like at a business dinner. And recently we heard that a member of parliament in some European country, she was caught playing Pokemon Go during like a government meeting and things like that. And I've been on a bus ride in Singapore whereby there is like a family and like a daughter and a father, and like the daughter is playing Pokemon, and the father is the one who's teaching her how to play. And I'm like, shouldn't it be the other way around? Like the daughter should be teaching the dad how to play, Pokemon Go, but it was the other way around. So Pokemon Go is the game that everybody is playing, and it's very popular. People say that it launched augmented reality to where it's supposed to be, to like commercial really popularity. But what does Pokemon Go really mean? So Pokemon Go really inspired like a lot of things. So this is like the graph of the daily user, the active daily user of Pokemon Go compared to the active daily user of Twitter. And they say that just within a few days, it is almost going to be as many as people on Twitter. And like the search of Pokemon just like a day after Pokemon Go launched. So it's really fast. And so this is what inspires us to write this trend, virtual experience economy. And this trend is not exactly an Asian trend, because it's actually an excerpt from our upcoming 2017 trend report. So it's like this is an exclusive preview, like nobody else has heard about this trend because we're only publishing this report in end October, so in like 2 to 3 weeks time. So for the next 3 trends, the next 3 trends that we are presenting will be from the trend report and is highly exclusive for you here in Bangkok. So the virtual experience economy is saying that there has been a shift in recent years towards a real physical world experience economy, whereby consumers, they're moving away from buying things to experiencing things, from just buying products to collecting experiences. But now with the digital world, they are moving from just collecting experiences in the physical world, so from going traveling or trying a fine dining experience, to really collecting digital experiences. And in the physical world, about the experience economy, the status fix is when you get to be first, when you get to be first to discover a travel destination, or when you get to be the first person to buy an iPhone. So if you're first, then you can be really proud of it and you can boast to everybody. But the thing about a virtual experience like Pokemon Go is that everybody can be first because it's on the internet, and if you just click fast enough, you can be the first person, or there can be 5,000 first people who join Pokemon Go. So it's no longer about being the first or the best or getting the most expensive, because it's universally accessible to everybody, but it becomes about your personal experience and your personal expression in the digital world, as well as the unique value that you as a person can add into the experience that everybody else is having. So for Pokemon Go, it's just a game, but it's just one game. But then we see all these people jumping on Pokemon Go and trying to add value to the game, to add like their own value to the game, to really promote themselves and get their status fixed. So we see Take Me Tour is a local startup in Bangkok. So what it does is that it's a marketplace for tour providers. And so there's this person who just went on Take Me Tour and says, I'm offering Pokemon Go tours. So if you want to come to Bangkok and visit the royal palaces or like all the temples and everything, yeah, let's go together and I can bring you Pokemon hunting around the famous landmarks in Bangkok. And then Tien Xiao Er is a restaurant, and so it sells duck dishes. And what it does is that, okay, if you have a side duck Pokemon in your Pokemon Go, if you have caught a side duck, show it to us, and you get discounts for your duck dishes. So if you order like a grilled duck and you have a side duck, you get 20% off or something like that. So you have all these people jumping onto the experience and trying to make it better for everybody. So this is the side duck example. And then there is this person, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but this article went really viral on Facebook a month ago or something. And it's Omar Akil guy on Medium. He wrote an essay as to how, Pokemon Go is fun and everything, but if you're a black man playing it in the States, it's actually a death sentence. Because imagine if you're like a black man during this time when it's very sensitive and stuff, and you're walking around somebody's house at night trying to catch a Pokemon, people can get like the wrong impression, and the policeman can just shoot you or anything, something like that. And it's like an essay as to how to highlight racial discrimination, and he won a lot of recognition for this essay. So he's jumping onto this whole phenomenon of Pokemon Go and adding his own unique value add to the experience for everyone else. And it's not just about Pokemon Go. So the virtual world really gives people a new way to express themselves. So Google Tilt Brush is this virtual reality painting app. So there is a video showing you how it works for them to paint in virtual reality, and it's really cool. So let me roll the video right now. So you can actually create paintings in 3 dimension, and it's all virtual, it's all digital, and it allows for really endless possibilities for creativity and creation and experimentation as well. The Void is a digital theme park, and to celebrate the relaunch of Ghostbusters series, they created a Ghostbusters experience in New York City. So they turned Times Square in New York City into a digital theme park of Ghostbuster experiences. And so you can go there, and if you have, and then you can get the goggles from them and everything, and engage in like a Ghostbusters experience in the real world, but also in like an augmented reality kind of setting. So the light bulb moment for this trend, for the virtual experience economy, is to think about when this arrives for your consumers with the new possibilities of the digital world, how can you help your consumers gain their status fixes in the digital world? So there is no longer, so status fixes traditionally has been like how many followers you have on Twitter, or like how many likes you have on Instagram. But now when there is a new digital world, all the rules will be changed, and it's all about personal expression and the unique value add you can give, or like the excitement, the possibilities. So how can you cater to these new expectations and create new experiences for your consumers? So that is the virtual experience economy. And the next trend is all about robots and artificial intelligence. So the numbers are quite depressing. A lot of people think it's going to be the end of the world. So 60% of UK consumers think that the use of robots will lead to lower jobs, and it will take away human jobs. And 5.1 million jobs could be lost over the next 5 years in the 15 global leading economies from disruptive labor market changes such as robot and artificial intelligence. And this is from the World Economic Forum. So, you know, robots are taking the world, people are losing their jobs. What's gonna happen? And we see headlines like iPhone supplier Foxconn, they are cutting 60,000 human jobs. These are jobs that are traditionally only humans can hold, and they are cutting all these jobs and replacing them with robots. And then in Singapore, just earlier this month, or late last month, we had the debut of self-driving taxis. So these are the first taxis that you can ride, like commercial taxis you can ride in Singapore that has no drivers at all. So they're only operating within like a set environment, but they're already trialing on the streets, and they're saying this is the future of transportation, and what's gonna happen to all the taxi drivers when all the taxis become driverless. And if you think about it, every industrial revolution and every technological change is always like that. When the steam engine happens a long time ago, people's concerns were that, oh, it's going to take away human jobs. And now that the steam engine is replaced by robots, people have the same concerns. It's going to take away human jobs. But is that really the case? And when artificial intelligence can create paintings, so this Rembrandt painting is done actually by an artificial intelligence software, and it was being fed by like Rembrandt paintings, and then as a result, it can paint exactly like Rembrandt. And Google Magenta project actually created artificial intelligence that can write music. So yeah, there's this music tune. And if you listen to it, this is actually written by artificial intelligence and not a real human. It's actually quite good. Even I don't think I can write music like that. And like the artificial intelligence can write something like this. So people used to say that when robots arrive, it means that they can do the menial jobs, and humans will be free to do like the more complicated ones. But even if now the robots can paint paintings and write music, then what is left for humans to do? And so the trend that we have for this phenomenon is what we call humans renewed. It's about how brands are jumping on the artificial intelligence wagon and doing it in a way that will soothe concerns about human redundancy. So when humans are scared that robots are taking the world, brands are rolling out initiatives that actually use robots to make human lives better, so that people don't worry too much about whether robots are going to take over the world or not. Because at the end of the day, the concern with the steam engine was also, oh, what if they're going to take away human jobs, and then at the end of the day, the engines actually contribute to make life better for workers, make life better for humans. So why not harness artificial intelligence as well as robots and all these technologies just to make life better so that people are not so scared all the time? So for example, there is this public speaking classes for people who are really scared of public speaking. And so there will be a virtual audience. It's like a virtual artificially intelligent audience in the virtual world that will respond to you giving public speeches. So if you're scared of public speaking, or you're not very good at public speaking and you want to train, you can train in front of a virtual audience that will give you really good feedback, and you don't have to be scared that you're going to embarrass yourself in front of real people. Do Not Pay is a lawyer's chatbot, and what it does is that it helps homeless people find housing. So if you're a homeless person, you can just go to this site and talk to the chatbot, and the chatbot will help you find housing. So it actually helps people in their concerns. And Puma Bitbot is a bot that helps runners train, because they say you train better when you have somebody to compete against, and so why not compete against an artificially intelligent software? And so there's also a video for this, so let's roll it right now.
Everyone runs faster when there's something to beat. But how do you beat a record when you can't see it? Introducing Puma Bitbot. It's not wearable tech, it's raceable tech. A programmable, self-driving, line-following robot that inspires runners of all levels to push harder, giving them a real target to keep up with. All the runner has to do is enter the distance they want to race, the time they want to beat, place it down on a track, and go. You can race your own best time, your rival's best time, or even this guy's best time.
Good luck with that.
Bitbot recreates Bolt's world record 100-meter dash, reaching 44 kilometers per hour. And it's not just fast sprints. Bitbot can even help you train for long-distance runs. The Bitbot works by following a line on a track using 9 infrared sensors. It counts the revolution of the wheels to determine speed and distance, then uses the data to make over 100 adjustments.
Yeah, so that's the Bitbot, and what it does is that basically it will, you can set the target, and you can race against it so that you have the motivation to run harder and train harder and become a better runner at the end of the day. So think about how you can use technology to enhance human life and make human living better for the real humans, so that they're not so scared of robots anymore. And the next trend and the last trend that I have for today is related around information consumption, compared and set that against the backdrop of the relationship between consumers and governments and brands and institutions. So we see here that actually 73% of millennials, of people, don't believe that governments can solve today's issues by themselves. And 83% of them want businesses to help. So what is the solution to that? Is this trend we call the Internet of Citizens. So the Internet of Citizens is all about how, today with real-time sharing of information, with the availability of connection and one-to-one communication, it's possible for people to come together to solve problems and take control of their own communities. So for example, Gershat is an app in Iran that helps people avoid the morality police. So there's the morality police in Iran that policies everybody. Like if you say a bad thing about the government, or if you do something that's really bad, something like really bad things is going to happen to you. And what happens with this app is that it's crowdsourced. So if you just download it and you know that the morality police is at watch in certain places, you can tag it on the app, and so other people can look at it and know where are the places they need to avoid the morality police. So it's citizens connecting with citizens for the benefit of the community and for the benefit of one another. In Mexico City, the government is actually crowdsourcing the constitution. So when they are writing the new constitution for the city and for the city development and everything, they are actually inviting their citizens to submit proposals and submit the things that they want to see in the city policies, and they are crowdsourcing it, and the best ones will be selected and incorporated into the city constitution. So it's acknowledging that a lot of citizens, they have ideas and they want to see change happen, and they want to see it happen with the government. And sometimes it's really, really hard, and there are lots of barriers, but now these big institutions are realizing we can actually harness the citizens' power to make life better for everybody in the community. World Bank and Grab Taxi partnered in the Philippines to collect GPS data from the Grab taxi cars so that the World Bank can monitor traffic information and develop better traffic policies as a result. So it's like with all the Grab taxi cars and the Grab taxis that are on the road every single day, so the data from all these cars are collected together, and then World Bank is using it to create better traffic policies because it's really from people on the ground as authentic data. Africa Anonymous is a recent happening whereby a regional broadcaster in Africa was hacked by a group of anonymous hackers for being racially discriminative. So it's a sign of the times that people are taking control back into their own hands, and so businesses should not be evil, and if businesses are not doing things that comply with society standards or comply with consumer expectations around good business policies, then people can very easily just take control into their own hands and do things like hacking and leaking information and things like that. But it's not all doom and gloom, because 53% of global consumers trust brands more compared to only 42% of global consumers who trust governments. So people actually trust businesses more, and people trust and believe that big businesses especially have the power to effect real change in communities, because big businesses have the resources and the capabilities to create real change in the world today. And so when consumers say they believe in businesses more, then that's actually an opportunity and an expectation, an emerging expectation that businesses can act upon to really create initiatives that will make community life better for the citizens. So the light bulb moment for this trend, and also the last one for today for the trend session, is that how can you tailor your business initiatives to be accountable to this internet of citizens, as well as empower them so that community living and civic problems can be solved better with like a joint initiative. So these are the 10 trends that we have discussed today. So just as a wrap up, we have the first 5, which is all about how do you serve the next billion consumers in Asia? How do you serve the next new urban consumers, and what are their expectations, and what are some of the initiatives that you can take to really tailor your services and offerings to the new preferences, the new expectations, the new lifestyles that they have. So we have trends like all hours access, we have trends like attentive attendance, how you create better engagement and more meaningful relationship with consumers. And on the second half, we discussed the technologies that are happening today and how can you really take them and create actionable opportunities out of the technologies that you see today, and to create innovations that are better for your consumers, that will resonate with them more, as well as translate into profits for your company. So that is the trend session that we have for today, and I shall hand over my time to my colleague who will talk more about how do you spot trends and how do you make sense of the innovations that you see every day. Thank you.